Hi everyone, and welcome to Heart Matters. We're so glad to be here today, and we're so glad that you've decided to join us. We have a couple of guests in this show that I'm sure will be a blessing to all of us. As we continue our series featuring people from Labrador, we'll take you to the community of Postville, which is nestled on the north coast of Labrador. We'll hear a story about Doug Jacques, or as most people from Postville call him, Uncle Doug. Since Doug is up in years and has trouble communicating, his story will be told by his daughter-in-law, Ruth. Also joining us as our musical guest, we're pleased to welcome Emma Meade from Labrador City. So let's get things rolling with Emma's first song. Enjoy.
Why do I do things I hate? Why do I say things that I shouldn't say when I know better? I could love better. Some days I take it too far. Sometimes the world gets the best of my heart. I know who I am till I forget just who I am. When I find myself again standing knee deep in my sin, you chase me down when I don't deserve it. You show me love, you don't make me earn it, and I make a mess. And I just start running, hoping that you won't know. Oh, when I'm lost and I'm low in a place that I think you won't go. You chase me down. You chase me down. Sometimes I can't believe stay when you don't have to, 'cause you won't leave, whatever that looks like. That's what love looks like. You chase me down when I don't deserve it. You show me love, you don't make me earn it, and I make a mess, and I just start running, hoping that you won't know. Oh, when I'm lost and I'm low in a place that I think you won't go. You chase me down. You chase me down. You chase, you chase, you chase. You chase, you chase, you chase. I know this must be grace. You chase, you chase, you chase. You chase me down when I don't deserve it. You show me love, you don't make me earn it. I make a mess, and I just start running, hoping that you won't know. Oh, when I'm lost and I'm low in a place that I think you won't go. You chase me down. You chase me down. You chase me down. You chase me down.
Heart Matters will return in just a moment.
Closed captioning provided by Terry's Tents, in business for 30 years, providing canvas fabrication, printing, embroidery, craft supplies, and more, located in Happy Valley, Goose Bay. Scott's Transport Limited is a family-owned and operated full transportation company located in beautiful Deer Lake. In business for over 25 years and with a fleet of modern equipment and dedicated team, we service the growing needs of businesses from Newfoundland and Labrador to Ontario and locations in between. If it matters to you, it matters to us.
RE/MAX would like to say thank you for allowing us to be a part of the most important transaction of your life. Our mandate is giving back to the communities that serve us. We will be honored to help you with your next move. Call any of our offices today and let one of our RE/MAX agents go to work for you.
My name is Ruth Jacque. I live in Postville, Labrador. This is my husband, Amos Jacque, and this is his father, Uncle Doug, they call him, Douglas Jacque, and we're here to tell his amazing miracle story that's very close to our hearts. Uncle Doug was born in English River, and he had a large family as well. His mother died when he was very young, and he always used to tell us that her last words to him were, "Be a good boy, Doug, be a good boy." And he said he always tried to be a good boy. His father was a very strong Christian example. They lived in a cabin at English River, which is about 5 miles outside of Postville. His father would walk to church every Sunday, and he would say, "As long as I can get there for the last amen, I'll be blessed." He started driving dog team at the age of 15. He has so many interesting adventures over the years, and he's had many awards for his dog team driving, the oldest dog team driver in all of Labrador. And he even saved a family in Hopedale. One time during a storm, his dogs took him into Hopedale. They knew the way. He trusted them. He took the food that he had with them, he gave to the family, and they said, "You're an answer to prayer." He was only 15 or 16 at the time. He provided them with the food that he had, gave them the food that he had, and passed the message on in Hopedale that they were snowbound and had no provisions and couldn't get out. He went back and told the authorities there in Hopedale. So he really did save their life, and he had many, many adventures on dog team when he was growing up, and married at the age of, I think, 25, and started his family of 10 children here in Postville. His family fished in Islick, and they had a house there, and he fished for many years. Even Amos, of course, growing up, fished with him for many, many summers. And in the old days, they used to go to church in Islick under Pastor Gillett's ministry, Pastor William Gillett, and he is a shining example of how you live from those days and transition into the modern days. Now he loves to watch hockey on satellite TV, and his life is a lot different than it was back then, but he has been a wonderful man. He had an amazing miracle that happened to him about 12 years ago now, coming up on 13 years ago. I'll take you back to August of that year. He was 78 at the time, and he's presently 91 years old. He was feeling sickly, and he was going back and forth to the clinic, and he couldn't eat, and he was losing a lot of weight and experiencing a lot of abdominal pain. And so they took him to Goose Bay for further tests. I was in St. John's at the time visiting my daughter, who had been attending university there, and I got a phone call that and Amos's older sister Marjorie said that the doctors had diagnosed him with abdominal cancer in his esophagus. And of course, it was a terrible blow to the family. And I rushed home, and Amos and I went to Goose Bay, and there we were able to get the whole story and meet with the team of doctors. Every day of the week that he had been up there already, he had been to the emergency receiving morphine shots for the terrible pain that he was in. They had done tests and they had done scans. His first reaction was that he would have to give up his dog team. When they explained his condition, he said, "The Lord is going to heal me." He said, "This cancer is going to be gone." And he had no doubt, no hesitation, no fear whatsoever. It was a really amazing testimony to all of us. We've been believers, myself, since I was 6 years old, and we had grown up in the faith. And of course, when this kind of news happens, the first thing you do is go to the Lord. And we were praying, and we did meet with the doctors, and they drew a diagram. There was a team of 3 doctors here and also a team in St. John's that was referring his case. They explained it to me and drew it on a piece of paper that it was a C-shaped clamp of a cancer tumor inside his esophagus, and that's why he couldn't eat and why he was losing so much weight. Ever since I can remember, ever since I came here, he had told us that God had promised him a long, long life. And he repeated that to me again this morning when we came up. Once he got his diagnosis, he seemed very calm and very, very confident that he said, "The Lord is going to do something for me." And he said, "This cancer is going to be gone." And he just didn't waver from that. Of course, we were concerned because we figured he was 78 and had already lived a long life in our eyes at the time, right? But, he said, "This is not my destiny," right? They explained to us that there were 2 options. He could have surgery if he was a younger man. They could remove 6 inches of his esophagus, move his stomach up into his abdomen. But because of his age, at 78, and his health conditions at the time, they felt that would not be a successful surgery. So the other option they presented was that he could have cancer treatments in St. John's. So they said that we should go home and decide what course we wanted to follow. When we were home here in Postville, he was called to go back to Goose Bay for more tests. They had been monitoring his blood work for the few weeks that he had been home. The doctor in Goose Bay had told us when we left that he should go home, live out what life he had left to the fullest that he could in the condition of pain that he was in. They had prescribed him morphine pills, and already in Goose Bay, before we left to come back home, he said, "I don't need those morphine pills." He said, "I'm not in any pain." So already we knew the Lord was working and doing something. While we were still in Goose Bay, he was staying in the bedroom there, and he and his wife, and he had a bucket in case he got sick because, as you know, he couldn't keep much down and he wasn't eating well. And he threw up, vomited into this bucket, and it was black substance, and we disposed of that, and we were all like worried sick that this was, that he was getting worse and this condition was, going to end up taking his life, even though we were praying, of course, and believing. But after he threw this up, he seemed to perk up a lot. He seemed to be able to eat. He seemed to have no pain, and he was perked up and he was feeling much better. And so we left to come home, and we wondered at the time what was the significance of that experience. And when we came back, he was eating better, he was looking better, he was feeling well, and they were monitoring his blood tests and his blood work, and they called and said they wanted him to come back out for more tests because what they were finding in his blood work was surprising to them. They weren't seeing what they had seen before, and they wanted him to come out and to have the scans and the tests that he needed to have done. So when they went back to Goose Bay, he and our mother-in-law went back to Goose Bay, they did a series of tests and scans on him, and the doctor came out to him and said, you no longer have cancer. There's nothing on the scans, there's nothing on anything that in your blood work that indicates the presence of cancer. And we praised God. We knew that this was the miracle. And we talk about it all the time in the years since. This is going on 13 years now. He's since had a pacemaker put in at the age of 90 a year ago. And he's doing so well and still living here in his home with his daughter. His faith over the years has been unwavering in God. He's an amazing testimony. His first reaction was that God was going to heal him and he was not going to die from cancer. And whether it involved treatment or whether it was a miracle, it was going to happen. And he just didn't doubt anything. And I think it was his own faith and the promise that God had given him of a long life gave him the confidence to believe that 78 wasn't what he considered a long life. So he had many years to go. All the years that I have known him, he's a disciplined man, a strong man, very determined, and his testimony was in the community. Everyone knew him. They knew his life, his lifestyle. They knew that he took his children to church and that raised them to be Christians as well. And his belief has never, ever wavered. And I've never seen really a more living example of faith than he has shown us over the years.
People are at the core of what Heart Matters is all about. And you, our viewers, are the most important of all. That's why we'd love to hear from you. Why not stop by our website and let us know how the show has impacted you? Or maybe you know of someone who would be a great guest for the show. Either way, we'd love to hear about it. I also invite you to follow us on social media to stay in the loop of the week-to-week happenings here. Still to come in today's show, The Bottom Line with Mike Freake, and more music from Emma Meade when Heart Matters returns.
Looking for a quiet, clean, and economical place to stay in central Newfoundland? Emmanuel Convention Center offers hotel and motel rooms, cabins, bunk rooms, and RV lots. We are a family-friendly site featuring nature trails, a playground, and sporting areas. Give us a call today.
From envelopes to tractor-trailer loads, Dooley's Trucking caters to all your shipping needs. Capable of meeting all your shipping requirements throughout Newfoundland. Dooley's Trucking is your choice for fast and efficient delivery. Ship with the best. Ship Dooley's.
My name is Brandon Lee Mullet. I'm the owner here at Gander Appliance and Furniture, and I'd like to welcome you to our new showroom right here in Gander.
We carry a wide variety of furniture brands, including Canadian-made Decorest, Canadel Dining, and a large variety of Ashley furniture. We also carry major appliance brands such as Bosch, Maytag, and Whirlpool. Come visit us at 60 Armstrong Boulevard in Gander or 1 Fairview Street in Lewisport.
Have you ever wished that you could talk to Jesus face to face? I mean, wouldn't that be nice? I'm certain we've all had the thought at one time or another. And knowing that we get an immediate real-time response, I'm sure there are plenty of questions we'd all like to ask him. Now, with the help of technology, you can actually do that. Now, before you turn off the TV or change the channel, he's obviously not the real deal. But a Los Angeles company has created an artificial intelligent Jesus. I know, it's a crazy world that we live in, right? And apparently it's true. There really is an app for just about everything. On this platform, you can ask Jesus anything and he responds in real time. The creator of the app ensures that all of his responses are biblically sound and accurate. Now, the jury is still out on that one. In addition, you can talk with other biblical characters, Ruth, Job, Abraham, King David, Mary, and the list goes on. And get this, all for the low monthly cost of $2.99. Sounds like a sweet deal? Now, by no means am I endorsing an AI Jesus because truthfully, I find the real Jesus much better than the artificial substitute. The Jesus that I'm talking about today is the real deal. I want to speak to those today who have been running and pursuing the artificial things of life. You know what I mean when I say that, because you've tried, pursued, and have run after a lot of things in life only to discover that you're still as dissatisfied in your life as you've always been. Because what you've been running after is artificial, and it never truly satisfies. Now, if you've ever been to a fair or a carnival, there's no shortage of a wonderful treat called cotton candy. It's delicious. I love it. But truthfully, if I'm hungry, cotton candy does not satisfy me. It quickly dissolves as fast as I can fill my mouth. That perfectly describes the things of this world. We all have a tendency to fill our lives with things that quickly dissolve and fade away, only to realize that it doesn't satisfy and it actually leaves us hungry for more of the real thing. Jesus is the real thing that I'm talking about today. You don't need a substitute. You don't need an artificial intelligent version of Jesus. He is real. He is present. He sees you. He knows you, and he loves you beyond anything that you are able to comprehend. I've seen the real Jesus do far more than the AI version. I've seen him transform lives. I've seen him set the addicted free. I've seen him restore the broken. I've seen him reconcile impossible situations and perform things that I would only describe as miraculous. And the real Jesus can do the same for you. And that's the bottom line.
My heart is racing deep inside my chest, and I'm underneath the weight of anxiousness. When my fear is raging, I can't catch my breath. I will remember you are faithful. Beside me through the fire, faithful still. You have closed the mouths of bigger lions, conquered even greater giants, gone before me and you always will. You are faithful still. God, you saw this long before I ever knew, and your peace is waiting here to see me through. And my deliverance is only found in you, so I will surrender. You are faithful. Walk beside me through the fire, faithful still. You have closed the mouths of bigger lions, conquered even greater giants, gone before me you are faithful still. I have a hope, I have a future. I'm a child of the mountain mover. And I have a hope, I have a future. I'm a child of the mountain mover. And I have a hope, I have a future. I'm a child of the mountain mover. You are faithful still. You have carried me through deeper waters, walked beside me through the fire. Faithful still. You have closed the mouths of bigger lions, conquered even greater giants, gone before me and you always will. You are faithful still. You are faithful still. Oh, you are faithful still. You have carried me through deeper waters, walked beside me through the fire. Faithful still. You have closed the mouths of bigger lions, conquered even greater giants, gone before me and you always will. You are faithful still.
You are faithful still. If you stop and truly reflect on that in your own life, I believe you'll be quickly reminded of God's faithfulness. You may not have experienced a discernible miracle like Doug did, but God's faithfulness is all around us when you choose to look for it. I want to thank our guests Doug, Ruth, Amos, and Emma for making this episode another great one. And with that, we've come to the end of our time for now. We hope you've been blessed today, and we invite you back again next week for another episode of Heart Matters.